Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season, so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Just about 5 minutes after the hour of 8, a pleasant good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. Good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It is a new month. We are already in the third day of it, the month of November 2025. For those of you celebrating, be it an anniversary, your birthday, on behalf of us here at WinFM, we want to wish you an enjoyable day today. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC channel 40. We're on Facebook as well as YouTube. We're on your FM dial at 98.9. If you wish to join in on our conversation or you have something pressing to bring to the fore, just to remind you of our numbers. Our local number is 466-0989. In the US, we have two numbers, 1305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984, and in the UK, 0333-440065. Good morning to you and all the listeners over in the United Kingdom and wherever you are. Thanks for listening. Miss Anita over there in St. Thomas, good morning. Thank you for listening as well. I know sometimes people might say, oh, you don't shut me up. That's not the case. I just don't have all the names. As people shout us out, I record and I have the name. Over there in Nevis, Mario, Tessa, Carlisle, good morning. And to all the other listeners, good morning. Quint, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying to be plenty better than yesterday. I know it's Monday, coming off of the weekend. Sometimes you think, why Monday again? But for me, I work every single day of the week. So I just have hours off.
Seriously? You work every day of the week?
Every day of the week. Wow. So from Monday to Friday, I do Island Tea in the mornings. And then on Monday, I don't work at the airport. So that's hours off. Then on Friday, I don't work at the airport, but I do Island Tea. And then Saturday, I work at the airport. And then Sunday, I work at the airport. So you see, I work the entire week.
Okay.
I don't know how I do it, but I work the entire.
Well, you're young,
7
right?
So that's the excuse?
When you're young, is a lot you can do quite easily. When you get old like me, then there's not a lot that you can do. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't work on Sundays?
Enjoy your youth.
I'm enjoying it, but I swear work is never ending. Because not only do I have to work, remember I have a household to maintain.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't have kids as yet, so they are not involved, but I still have to do my laundry. I have to keep my surroundings clean, so I still have this morning I woke up after 5 and I decided, let me put in a load.
Okay. Well, me, I do everything for myself.
You see?
I do And the funny thing is, I don't use a washing machine.
You still washing your hand?
Yeah.
I can't. I
still
wash
with my hands.
I wash the collar and the arms on my hand, but then I throw it in the machine. I can't do all of that on my hands no more.
I never did gravitate too much to machines, you know.
Oh wow, you're good. So you still have your scrubbing board and your brush?
No, I do. I use my hands.
Oh wow. I miss having a scrubbing board though.
When
You
I
remember
was
those?
when I was younger, and my great aunt who taught me to do all the things I can do now. I remember at a very young age. I don't remember how old I was. Perhaps maybe even as young as 5 years old. She brought me outside, put up a pan so I could stand up on it in front of a bath pan, and she said, "Well," and she threw my underwear and marinas and so in there, and she says, "Well, here's where you start, boy." And I don't think, you know, when you're that young, you can't really wash that good.
Yeah.
But she meant, well, this is where you're going to start. And if I don't wash it too good, then she's going to, you know, come and finish them off. But that's where I started. And then eventually, because I saw her using the scrubbing board, because remember, all of those older people, they used the scrubbing board.
Of course.
And eventually, she didn't have to tell me gravitate towards it. I just automatically did. But then along the way, I realized I like scrubbing with my hands.
With your hands and not the brush.
Yeah, not the brush.
And it amazes me long time how our parents scrub with the brush, right? And you know how they used to, well, the scrubbing board had the slot to put the blue soap, because blue soap was the thing back then. And you know, sometimes when the clothes have stain, they would do the extras and put it out in the grass. And I'm thinking, why are you going to put white on grass that normally stain, but it never stained? So I still don't understand the science behind that particular thing. But when your parents wash your white clothes long time, and I must admit, until now, I take my white clothes to my mom's to wash, because she just washes these whites to white.
And
so everything white like this, when I'm done with it, I'm going to say, Mom, you can help me out with this shirt.
That is one of the reasons why I don't really so like white, because it's there. When you see they really get dirty, it's not so easy to get them out. You can, you know. But one of the things that the older people did was that they would use very hot water when they're washing the whites, and a little bit, they knew just how much Clorox to use and all that kind of stuff.
That time was just bleach, wasn't no Clorox. Just bring the bleach there for me.
So I would suggest that you learn from your mom, learn her techniques.
Well, I don't think I could, you know.
You could, because there's, remember you said,
some people have
listen,
the touch.
Remember you said earlier, you don't have kids yet. You understand how your daughter will feel when she can do what you're doing now? And say, Mom, could you? And then eventually she gravitates towards it. So let her teach you some of her techniques. I watch her all the time,
but I'm telling you, there's a touch to it, Clint. You have to have that extra touch.
Well, maybe the touch is that you keep doing it all the time, and then automatically you're going to find you just have the touch.
It's not going to let my mom do it.
Okay, well, if you're gonna hold on to that negative attitude, then you'll never learn.
I'm not saying, because I try.
Okay, let me tell you this. I can do everything. I can bake. I can do everything. And one of the reasons I can do the things that a lot of men, when they were my age, didn't want to do because they felt it was a woman thing, is because I grew up with my stepdad, and he could do things. And when he got in the kitchen and he cooked, man, the food was good. Yeah. And I remember watching him as a young boy and thinking, yeah, okay. And so when I decided I remember the first time I baked a cake. It was, you remember those cups we were speaking about?
Yeah.
So they could get spoiled and that kind of
cups.
stuff?
Yeah.
I tried to mix up the stuff. I didn't know anything about greasing the
greasing it and flouring it.
Yeah, well, I don't like the flouring it, just greasing it.
Oh, just grease. Okay, all right.
So I didn't know about that. So I put it in there, and I went and I told my friends, you know, I'm baking, you know, and all of us come and we're sitting down in front of the oven watching it. Well, you imagine when you're kids, you know, the things and we're watching it. And then when we thought it was finished, we took it out. And for the life of us, we couldn't get it out of the cup because I was wondering, how is it that when they bake, it comes out? So, and then eventually I found out it was because they grease the thing.
You have to grease it and flour it, and then it comes out, and you have nice cake.
Yeah.
But it didn't fall in the middle? Because sometimes if you open the oven
No,
too
it
soon.
didn't.
Oh, so y'all just watched it. Nobody opened the oven to check on that thing.
No.
Okay.
Because there's certain things that I had learned already, but at that time I had missed the grease, the pan thing. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody once more again. And greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, through faith only and not by works, and the second person of the eternal, most blessed Trinity. Now, as usual, I would like to say we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth, and the quicker we get out of it, the better it is. Also, I would like to say, I feel so good knowing that Christmas is around the corner, and I love the Christmas feeling, and because we have Christmas is also why we have Easter. Easter is the result of Christmas. So, and both are very important times of meditation and trial, and both are many times a very good period of meditations and knowing why they both are, because Jesus Christ came to seek and to save sinners from their sins and from hell. So that is one of what I wanted to say. Another thing that I wanted to say is this. Now, I believe, let me put it this way, let me reword it different. I do not believe that in the passage of time, your responsibilities for apologizing for doing something that is wrong and for setting right of something that you did it was wrong in the past is somehow all set aside because of the passage of time. I think no matter how much time passes, what you did wrong in the past, you're still supposed to apologize for it and set right the wrong. I said that to say this because I'm going back a bit far with something that I have to say, but my mind has always been on it. My mind has always been thinking about it. Quint especially, I don't know if Cartense was there at the time, but Quint especially. You remember you remember in '93 when we had the Bottle and Stone incident?
Yeah.
Right? No. The following election, Labour won it. But something happened that really hurt my heart a lot. And today I still think Labour need to fess up to it. And what was supposed to be the victory speech that they had at Mass's house. And this was broadcast live on ZIZ. During that speech, I don't know if you heard it, Quinn, but I heard part of it.
I didn't.
Well, you're okay. I heard part of it. And you had different speakers speaking. And I remember Sam Conda particularly was one of those speakers. And there were others as well. I guess it was the whole team who that was supposed to be giving the victory speech. Like I said, I didn't hear all of it, but I heard a good amount of it still. And what they were saying was very, very vicious, vitriolic, very, very embarrassing, very, very terrible and awful. It was so bad that ZIZ had to cut the broadcasting of it because, you know, it was a great embarrassment to the outer world who was hearing this thing that was supposed to be the victory speech. Excuse me. And it included such things as it was very spiteful speech, a very, very spiteful speech, speeches, I should say. which included things like making Connery people, not Connery, Kayan people suffer with their water issue. You know, I guess because of how they voted, I think it's in '93 that ended up with the bottle and stone thing, and speeches about how they would make people suffer with, I think, where the water issue was concerned, and you know, just fighting certain sets of people, you know, and that sort of stuff. And like I say, it was so horrible that Israel had to cut it, so that I guess people wouldn't have to hear more of it who were listening to the radio. And so I think that will always be a very black and dark cloud over the Labour Party. And they need to fess up with it and come to the public and say, hey, what we did back then was wrong, and ask the people saying is to forgive them.
Well, I think I think I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if necessarily. I mean, not that I disagree with what you're saying, but look, I've heard politicians say some things over the years that, like you, I feel that individually, you know, maybe not so much the party. I feel that individually they should come out and say something. Why I say maybe not so much the party, because, for instance, look at today. It's a whole bunch of younger people, only one in there that I am aware of on the Labour side who has been there for a very long time. So I don't think that they should have to come and apologize for what the elders did. So that is where I kind of segue. But yes, I've heard some things that is unbecoming, but it seems to me like that was the politics way back then. And the sad thing, it seems like it wants to head back there again.
Well, at the very least, those who were there at the time should apologize, like Sam Kanda and so on, should come and say, hey, we were carried away with anger and so on at that time, and what we said were wrong, and that's because if they don't have said things right and apologize for that, it's going to be always a black cloud over the party, and at least then.
What about if they apologize? Well, what about if they apologize within themselves?
No, because what they said was to deal badly with people. You need to and it wasn't said in secret, it was said open in public over the radio.
I hear you, but here's why I say this. I know Sam Kanda, and I've heard Sam Kanda say some very despicable things, but Sam Kanda, when you know Sam Kanda, he's a very nice individual, you know. Personally, I wouldn't doubt that. I know my mother used to harass Sam Kanda a lot because of where she was, and she was one of the individuals who was the first to reside in that area, and it was in his constituency. And I would hear my mother speak of the times when she harassed Sam Kanda, and Sam Kanda would say, woman, I mean, this is why you wake me up so early in the morning for? But she said, after having said that, he would come and he would make sure that her issues, which were to do with getting water at certain times, you know, in that proximity and so forth, was done. And I've seen him interact with people. I've watched his demeanor, and he is a nice person. Like you said, people get caught up in their emotions, and maybe when the crowd is there spurring you on and blah, 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 you know. But Sam Kanda, I think I have a way I kind of try to automatically tap into your energy, and he has good energy. Now Denzel Douglas is a whole different story, which I won't go into, but I don't get the aura that Denzel Douglas is really a nice person, you know what I'm saying? But Sam Kanda, different. Mm-hmm. And I remember I heard Sam Kanda one time say he wished that the sea would come and wipe Port Zante off, you know, and so forth. That was during the period when Pam was billing it, you know, and they were kind of against it. And look today it is a beneficial thing, and I've heard him speak about the benefits of it. So sometimes we get caught up in our emotions and we say things, and I agree with you that there's some should be some form of atonement, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you can put it all on the whole party. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Because when you wrong somebody, especially in public with their knowledge and that sort of stuff, no matter how nice you are, you need to fess up to that wrong. And you need to, just like how you publicly wrong the person,
Yeah.
whether in words or in deeds or maybe both. So likewise, you need to publicly fess up to it as well.
Yeah.
And that has always crossed my mind. And I do not know if the good Lord wanted me
To say it?
mention it.
Yeah.
So for them to know, hey, this is something that you all did in your past that was real ugly, and you all need to really set it right.
Yeah.
Okay, Quinn, take care, young cartons here. Take care. God bless you all.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
to
have a
you.
good one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with him. It's just that I don't feel that we should put it on the whole party. But individuals who say certain things at certain times, they should, even if it is within themselves, because I tend to do that, right? I tend to look back at some of the things I might have done and said and say to myself, kind of say it out to the universe, look, I'm sorry, and I hope that you can forgive me. And when I look at my life and how it has turned out, I would like to think that I'm forgiven by the universe. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, I agree with his sentiments. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine. Quint, I see you're living up to your name, quintessential one.
Well,
Or is it?
I'm just being
Or is
me.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, or is it quint essential one?
No, quintessential. And I remember when I picked that name when I was young, and I thought of the audacity of it, right? And years after, people who I encountered looked at me and asked me, why do you feel that you're quintessential? And I look at them and I say, so why do you feel that you're quintessential? And a lot of them didn't get it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got it? You got what I just said?
Yes.
Yes.
I got
Okay.
what you just said.
Yes.
But Hortensia,
Hi.
I think you should explain to Quint that you could be too much of a good catch to catch. Right? You have to make the ladies feel that, yes, it's nice to be able to do lots of stuff, but
Oh, I catch where
you
you're
got to
coming
make them
from
feel
now.
this. You got to make them feel indispensable as well in some respect.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well,
Quint,
I think
That's
think
why
I
I'm gonna let
do.
my mommy keep doing it.
I think I
'Cause I'll
do.
never have my mommy's touch.
Yeah. You hear her? And I completely
said?
disagree.
what
Right?
you said?
She said that's why she's going to ever let. I don't have a problem with her letting her mom do it, but I'm saying try to learn from your mom. So I'm saying, but Mr. McMahon, I hear.
She's just kidding with that. She's
Yeah,
just kidding with
I
that. She
hear
knows.
you. I hear you, and I think maybe that is when I was younger, that is one of the things that I had to come to grips with, because I remember my first kid's mother, when she got angry. I was working at ZIZ at the time, and when she got angry with me, I would come home and she wouldn't cook and she wouldn't wash and all that kind of stuff. And I remember I let it pass for a while because I try to avoid conflict if I can. But if I try to avoid it, don't think I don't realize it. You know, that's one of the mistakes women tend to make. So one day I just said to her, I said, look, it seems to me you forgot that when you met me, I could do all of these things. So you know what? from now on, don't cook for me or wash for me anymore. And I meant it. And that was the breaking away, because as much as she was doing it, when I decided that was the end, she took it personally, and I really didn't care, because I'm not going to be held ransom because you feel like and that is why I tell my sons, learn to do certain things. But I hear you.
The lady in cut style on you. Wow.
Listen, you cannot win with women when it comes to that.
Yes,
let me tell
that's
you.
true.
There's always that last resort.
Yeah.
That you're not going to like. But anyway, with regards what Gil just
Express.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that he brought that up now.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there are lots of people, practically everybody, who have something they should really be contrite about and have some kind of atonement in. But it's really up to the person, right? And it should not extend beyond the person who did the wrong.
Yeah,
I don't think you shouldn't just paint a whole whether party or group of people with the same brush.
That is why. That is why I said to him, if you look at the Labour Party today, you can't expect these Drew and them to come and
say sorry.
I mean, maybe if one of them look back and he might feel it incumbent on him or her, they might say, look, we did something in our party back then, but we're not going to carry that forward. But it's the onus isn't on them. I agree with you.
The best way to show atonement and contrition is to make up for what was done.
Yeah.
So now they have water, don't they? That's beyond. But could you imagine the parties saying that everybody should atone?
Yeah.
And what you'd need is a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, just like that in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're going to get.
Yes.
Oh, there's 93 bottle and stone, and then they say 67.
Yeah. It's going to be everybody's going to try to outdo each other. Yeah.
Right. That is why I say there should be an official history of some kind of body should be commissioned to have an official history of the country where these things are thrashed out, and otherwise we'll all, as he pointed out, we'll always have these things coming back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay then. You take care. We're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 winnfm.
Win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball. You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Let's get on the ball. Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? It's the 14th annual St. Christopher Children's Home Family Walk and Run. Saturday, November 8th at the beautiful Royal St. Kitts Golf Course. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of fun, fitness, and giving back. Registration opens at 3 p.m. and the walk starts at 4 p.m. sharp. Adults only $60. Kids 6 to 12, $30. Little ones under 6, absolutely free. Every registration comes with an event shirt plus a delicious barbecue lunch from the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Enjoy our exciting kids zone powered by Lucid SKN, amazing raffle prizes, and complimentary transportation from the Sands Complex and the fire station starting at 2:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at Royal Beach Casino, Four Ways Restaurant, Harper's, and Jad. Saturday, November 8th. We'll see you there.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season, so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back on Island T just about 33 minutes after the hour of 8. We have not seen the officers as yet. Hopefully they are on their way for traffic talk this morning. But while, okay, it looks like they're here. So we are going to wait until they come in, and we will continue whilst they get settled in. But whilst they were talking about the incident, because I wasn't afraid with that, I wasn't living here yet, I was still in my...
Yeah, so let me take a quick break.
Okay, no problem. You're going to take a break and be right back.
Okay, here we go.
To me, heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
We are back on Island T, and we have with us Officer Maguire in the building this morning. Officer Maguire, how are you doing today? Welcome back to Island T.
Well, it's good to be here. I'm doing very fine. It's a very good week, the beginning of a good week, yes.
Is it your birth week?
No.
Oh, because I know when people say the beginning, when people
No,
put
but
emphasis...
I look at the smile on his face, and it seems like it's some kind of special...
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking if it's his birth week. So tell us a bit, what's so special about this week?
Well, it's just the mood, the way how we start, everything seems to be going
nice?
smoothly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what is our topic for this morning? Are we still on the traffic cams? Because I see the creeping has... It seems like we're back to our normal selves, because when I look at the nonsense on the road, I'll be like, okay.
Right.
So maybe people know where these things are, so they're going to show themselves again?
Well, you're still having the nuances. But we continue to enforce, because we believe our strategy is one that will really bring about behavioral change. Okay. And I know last week we had a call, and the call was saying that it was somewhat arrogance for not consulting with the public. And the thing about it, we continue to engage. We engage, it's not a consultation, because we always want to get the feedback of other persons. We have been listening. In relation to, I know one of the requests was to help the normal person to identify the equivalent of kilometers in miles per hour. And a very simple way, I observed that electricity department actually have a post on Facebook with it. I don't know how many people saw it, but the 32 kilometers is equivalent to 20 miles per hour, and 64 kilometers equivalent to 40 miles per hour. So that is your speed limit if you're in a 20 miles per hour zone, and if you're in a 40 miles per hour zone, that is the speed limit. So if you go above that, you will find yourself in the territory where you are likely to be ticketed.
And the radar read both km and miles.
No, the radar read only miles per hour.
Only miles, but just
yes.
in case if you have the KM vehicle, you know.
If you have the KM vehicles,
well,
you know
officer,
how to do the calculation.
Let me interject, because recently, as Saturday, Mr. Chesley Hamilton was in the studios, and he was sitting over there.
You mic some soft, Queen. I'm not.
Okay.
Right.
It's my voice.
Yes.
Saturday, Mr. Chesley Hamilton was in the studios. He was sitting over there on that side where you both are now, and he was very aggrieved with the speed limit. He was saying that even a magistrate or lawyer or judge or some individual, some legal luminary, was suggesting that no one in this age drives at 20 miles per hour. And he was so concerned that I asked him, I said, so are the police or the authorities seeking to redress this or to change it? And he said, no, you all are just doing it because it's it's a form of backdoor tax. I would suggest that you look up, if you can, go on YouTube and look up Inside the News for Saturday, and see if you can peruse that where you hear in detail what he's saying. So my thing is, I don't drive. I've never been able to, I never did learn to drive. And my thing was, if it's so slow at 20 miles per hour, why then don't you up the speed limit, to something? Because he was saying those laws were put in place during the boop days of the old tractors, taking cane from one point to the other. So what do you say and the authorities say as to that? Will there be some redress to it over time?
Well, I believe there will be redress. In fact, we have been assessing the challenges that and the thing about it. Like I said, our strategy is behavioral change, and once we are able to bring persons or motorists to the point of becoming compliant subconsciously, then that can be a period or a time when we might see the need of doing so. The reason for that, research has shown, Queen, that it's a natural, that the natural behavior of human is that based on the research, that persons tend to drive at least 10 miles above the required limit. It's a natural thing. And so increasing the speed only seems to be a recipe for faster driving. And so unless there is a method of bringing persons to that conscious realization, the importance of road safety and driving safely on the road, then it will not really necessitate, in my view, the need or the urgency in increasing the speed. What we have considered, however, that there are some areas that 20 miles can be a little bit a slow speed. Like, for example, we look at the area of the first roundabout at Friggy Bay going towards the second roundabout in the area of Silver Reef. We accept that that area, 20 miles might be reasonably a slow paced.
Yeah.
So then what we are doing, we are looking at areas, and in fact the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act gave the licensing authority the leeway to increase the speed limit. The challenge with that is that if that is not in sync with the law, then it will defeat the whole purpose, because the only two speed limit in St. Kitts and Nevis is 20 miles and 40 miles. So it means, therefore, that unless everything is harmonized, then it might not be appropriate to do. And so while we may give consideration to different areas where the speed at 20 miles per hour speed limit can be up to maybe 30 miles, we have to make sure that the behavioral change is really, we are seeing the impact of that. The reason for that.
Hold on 1 second, caller.
Yes.
You want to take the call and then finish the point?
Yeah, we could take the call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, peace to all. Officer, wasn't there one time we had some speed limit that was like 25 and 30 based on the area one time? And even had some area like 15 based on the area. I'm just asking, but because I realize it's not just two, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I cannot recall that there were more than the two speed limits. In fact, like for example, for heavy equipment vehicles, trucks and so on, they really not supposed to drive at a speed greater than 30 miles per hour for trucks and heavy equipment vehicle. That is also in the law. But in terms of speed limit, generally, it's 20 miles and 40 miles.
Okay, don't know if you remember, there was, I think it was keys, because it was like based on the built up of the area. My memory served me right when I used to drive around. I used to see some different signs. But maybe the record should be there, and maybe you have to...
Right, so that is what I was about to say. I can do some research and confirm whether or not that is so, and the transformation in that process. I can do that because, as you said, there must have been some data or record in relation to that. So, as far as my recollection, I'm not aware that there have been any limit other than 20 miles per hour and 40 miles.
Well, I guess maybe what might have happened though is that they have been removed for quite a while, so nobody realized. But unless I don't know how it was, but I know for some. But good point there. And but what I could say though, whatever works, works.
Right.
What I would say as well, because some person don't drive with discretion. Even coming out of Port Zante, this is where the camera might come in handy. Some people see this sign, no right turn, and they still deliberately make a right turn.
Yeah, I've seen it myself.
Even by West Square Street, they're coming from west to east, coming towards the police station, no right turn, and they cut across the traffic to turn down the Square Street.
Yeah.
And so therefore, yes, there will be something need to correct things, and you drive your show, I drive, and sometimes you think you might be going slower, and the vehicle, because based on the size of the vehicle, sometimes you don't even realize the speed that you're going.
Right.
Actually, when you look at the meter, you realize, whoops, I'm over the 20 miles they're talking about. Because, so something like that, could really be considered and so forth.
Right.
Because...
yeah, finish your thought.
Yes. So I'm just in support with what you're saying, but I'm just saying, I think there's sometimes, so the line which you were talking about adjusting it,
yes,
I think it might be, but it's because of the same speeding why certain measures were taken. Even one time ago, when they started to build like the King Collins Highway and the FT, they were even thinking about maybe carrying up to 55 miles, right?
Right.
So, but they were taught about even carrying up, but because of how people just being reckless and dangerous, I think the holdback was coming into place. But anyway, I just want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And you did the research, and as they were asking about, but it was my memory right, because I used to drive around the island a lot and drive to South Gate, and you could have seen the sign.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you very much. But just look out for those areas because there's some person who are still deliberately, and they could cause serious accident. It might just be a turn, but somebody might have the right to go coming across and cause someone to get in an accident.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Yes, have a blessed God bless
yes.
to Nevis.
Right. Thank you. And Hortensia, at some point, I hope that I will have the opportunity to do some comparative data in relation to the period of this period since we have implemented the photo radar and the same period of the month where we were in terms of accidents, in terms of numbers and the seriousness of the accident, because we have implemented the photo radar on the 15th of October, and since the implementation, we have had accidents, but very, very minor.
Two after that,
yes,
right after that.
Very, very minor accidents. But in terms of accidents in relation to serious injuries, serious damages, we have seen a significant fall off in relation to that. And so that's why we believe those are indication that the strategy is working in terms of the behavioral change. We continue to encourage motorists that driving 1 mile above the speed limit is illegal. So if you're in a 20-mile zone and you drive 21 miles per hour, it is illegal. But I would like you to say to me, do you think that is reasonable for a police officer to ticket you at 21 miles per hour? I think it will be really unconscionable for somebody to give you a ticket.
But having said that, if
yes.
you're using these machines, are they set to give you some leeway?
Right, we say that. We are not hiding anything. We have not kept anything from the public, you know. We said that the radar system, the way that it works, it measures speed by way of a sensor. And so when that particular speed that is fixed into the system,
20.
When you hit that speed or above, it activates, and that's when the photo is taken.
Okay, so then I asked that because of what you just said.
Yes.
You said the police would, if
right,
then
because
if the radar is precise,
yes,
then shouldn't the police also be precise?
Well, this is the point I was about to make, that now you're in a 20-mile zone, and the reason why we exercise discretion in whether or not to enforce if you are slightly above the speed limit, as opposed to increasing the speed limit. There are some areas, because of the road conditions and the different things, what might be an increased speed at 20 miles in some area might not be. It might be a low speed in other area, and we just talk about between the first and second roundabout. But you might be driving along towards Marriott, and you're driving at 20 miles per hour, but that can be a speed that, because of that area and what is happening, that is not inconsiderate. So we are exercising discretion, but we do not want to take away totally
in terms
the
of
right
discretion. I'm glad you used that word, because that was another issue that Chesley had. He said the law does not deal with discretion. The law is precise. He said when you interject discretion, it then means you interject the potential for discrimination. And the example he made was this. If me as an officer, I see Hortensia, and she, well, whatever means I realize that she's over the speed limit, I may give her a ticket. But if I see you, because you're an officer, right? Or let's say you as an officer see the police inspector or chief of police or commissioner of police, you might use your discretion. And he's saying that is unfair.
And he may be correct.
Yes.
He may be correct. And I accept that in most cases, or many cases, the law is strictly applied.
Yes.
But the law doesn't, the law gives the police officer discretionary powers, whether to warn, whether to arrest, or whether to prosecute.
Yeah.
And that is from that basis we exercise our discretion.
Mind you,
and you can keep it absolute, because there might be a very good explanation from the driver as to why.
That is what
and
that
appeals to the good conscience of the police officer.
I was about to say this. Even though I hear and I agree with what he's saying, let's be realistic. If I was driving and you caught me going 1 mile over the speed limit or whatever, right? I would like you to use your discretion.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly my point, Quinn. Because even 25 miles per hour, even 30 miles per hour. Cotton said when officers were enforcing the speed limit around by the bridge area at camps, the persons were ticketed at 28 miles per hour. And we felt that was a little bit unreasonable. That would not really achieve the objective, because you're coming down to a slope, you're going towards a roundabout, and really and truly, one realistically cannot speed into a roundabout. You have to slow. You have to slow down, and you are plus you're coming off a decline, and so that is why we would have, without taking away absolutely the discretion from the officer to enforce, because the offense still committed, because you're driving above the speed limit. But discretion must be applied. Is it reasonable to strictly enforce someone driving at a speed under those circumstances? But the law says 20 miles. So whether or not you're coming off an incline, you're going towards the roundabout, the fact is you're driving above the speed limit. And so that is why we are saying to persons, the same thing with the photo radar. We are saying that if you are traveling slightly above the speed limit, the police exercises that discretion and give consideration to that. And that is why the photo radar camera is programmed in such a way that at certain speed that we think that you should not be driving or is not safe for you to be driving, that's when the photo radar is activated. So really and truly, motorists doesn't have to really become that gravely concerned about driving above 20 miles or slightly above 20 miles, or as
what
the case may be.
Slightly above for the average person?
What I meant is that the discretion is being applied in relation to what we consider a safe speed that will achieve the same objective in terms of the behavioral change. So I am not going to say, well, if you drive under 40 miles in a 20-mile zone, that is okay. Because it can be, as I said, depending on the location, that might be very fast in a certain area. So if you drive maybe 39 miles, right, that might be a fast speed in certain areas. And so if an officer is in place and an officer wants to apply the law, we do not want to remove that discretionary authority from the police officer. And so that is why we say, well, similarly, we believe that in a 20-mile zone, you're driving 40 miles an hour above. That is fast.
Yeah, that's problem.
That's unreasonable. And so that is why we will enforce under those circumstances. So the thing about it, we are not saying that persons must drive at the very slow speed that they think. You just have to be considerate in relation to the speed limit and the safety for the other road users. That is what we are trying to drive. So it's not really to penalize. It's not a backdoor tax, as some people is trying to incinerate. No, our objective is not revenue. But of course, if you are blatantly disregarding the law, you must suffer the consequences, and the law provide the perimeter or the limits under which you suffer those consequences.
And officer, I like your diplomacy, because Hortensia was trying to get you
to say what's
you understand?
I'm aware of that.
And you skirted it. And I agree with you too, because from the moment you say a number, people are going to go there and then they're going to say, well, the officer said it on, you understand? So, yeah.
What I can say, the law provides that if you are 10 miles above that speed limit, then you pay $100 additional fine.
Yeah.
So there is a discretionary speed limit that you can travel safely, that the police is exercising their discretion, and that is within a 10 miles.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So outside of that, we enforce strictly and we apply the law strictly in terms of 10 miles above that additional mileage that is stipulated in the law, then it will harm things. So for example, if you're traveling in a 20-mile zone, and let's suppose that at 30 miles, above 30 miles, the police decided to enforce, the police will enforce that. So within that speed limit, you will pay the minimum fine of $250.
Okay, you have a caller. This is going to be a
so
fine.
10 miles above that 30 miles is $100 added. Yeah.
Caller, go ahead for the officer. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, Maguire.
Yes, morning.
Why can't the traffic calibrate the photo radars to 25 miles per hour in a 20 zone, or 45 miles per hour in a 40 zone? That will make it more considerate. So nobody will have no excuse. Thank you very much.
Thank you for it.
The photo radar is calculated. I'm not going to disclose at what speed it calculated, but consideration has been given in relation to that discretion that I'm speaking of.
Yeah.
And so once you go above that 10 miles out above the particular speed limit, then you know definitely that you are likely to receive a ticket. And the thing about it, we have exhausted all of our discretion in terms of waivers and so on. So once you receive a ticket from the police officer, is either you go and pay the ticket or you prepare to go to court. We will not be withdrawing any ticket. We are going to strictly enforce. And the thing about it is important to say this. Anybody is likely to be ticketed once they found themselves in confliction with the law. So I am here promoting safe driving. If I miss it, I can be ticketed once I think. Anybody. So there is no discrimination as to how it is. However, full disclosure, I must say that there are exemptions in terms of emergency vehicles, fire,
we can understand
police, and ambulances, right? That is the only exemption in relation to that. Diplomat, for example, because of the immunity, the Governor General, because the Governor General represents the head of state. Outside of that, everybody is subjected to be ticketed once you drive above the speed limit.
And that's a whole nother story that we're not going to touch, but I don't like this immunity thing where certain individuals are, I don't like it at all, but then that isn't within your purview. You're supposed to...
International. It's an international recognized standard.
One question before we close out. In terms of having the signs to say that we have the photo radars, not putting them where the radars are, but just to let tourists, and other persons that may visit the island, know that we have the photo radars in place. Do you know how soon Public Works, because I know Public Works is who does the sign, do you know how soon they'll have this signage up so that we can quell anything if somebody tries to challenge us in court, especially persons that are not from the island?
In terms of the signs?
Yes. Because they might say there was no sign warning us. We don't, because as Mr. Welcome from the U.S. called and say there are normally signs to say photo radar in operation, but it's not close to where it is. But at least you know, so you know to take heed. But for here, let's say a tourist get a ticket and they want to challenge you in court. Let's say the person is that hard and fast. They can win, bearing in mind that there were no signs to warn them. So how soon will we get those signs?
Well, I don't agree with you, Cartencia, that if there isn't any sign to say photo radar, I heard that that's a legal.
There's no sign to say the speed limit too. They can challenge that.
To like how there is no sign to say the speed limit.
Let's say there's no sign to say the speed limit.
Right.
In the area that they were driving, and they said, "But I didn't see 20. I didn't see 40. I don't know. I don't live here. I'm not from here. I'm just visiting."
Well, there is always a saying that ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah.
The thing about it, signage is international. Anyway, any country that you travel to, there are always a speed limit, a required limit in which you drive. And so if you are traveling to a country, it's for you to acquaint yourself with those things. So that will not really be a successful defense in relation to that. But it can appeal to the discretion of the adjudicator, the magistrate, and the magistrate can say, well, you know, but it doesn't mean that legally there is some thing in that. In fact, we want to begin to take some of these matters to the court if people do not comply in relation to the payment, because we want to test and see what are the legal
ramifications
in some of these kind of things. But we are hoping that people will. Our objective is for people to just comply with the law. That is really our objective.
You have a caller.
Yes, and take the call, and then I will just wrap up with some data that we have gathered since the photo radar in place.
Caller, go ahead for the officer. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me in this morning. And the last comment the officer made was what I was going to talk about. But listen, a lot of people calling in and trying to find ways over not paying the fine or not being charged for over 20, over 40. Every licensed driver in St. Kitts and Nevis knows that there's a speed limit of 20 miles in build-up area or 40 miles on non-build-up areas. Every licensed driver and student driver knows that. And so therefore there's no excuse for Kittians and divisions to say, well, you don't have a sign there, you don't have a sign there, you don't have a sign there, because every licensed driver knows that. Now, people, last week I was trying to get in because there's a gentleman who called in and said that those who have rentals, what if the person who rent the car do something and went over the speed limit and there's a ticket and the person has already gone back? Every rental business place must instruct the clients that its speed limit is thus and thus. And if they paid by card, let them know that their card will be held for a week or whatever it is, so that any infraction will be deducted from their card. It's international. It's not. So people who are talking knows it happened in Senate, it happened in the States, it happened in Europe. So I don't see why people are saying, oh, what if a rental person drive a vehicle and then there's something. If you use a card, you let them know that the card will be held for 2 weeks just in case there is anything. It happens at hotels also. So our people are without excuse, and we are always, always, always looking for excuse. So, officer, you said that the whole thing is to enforce the law, and that is all. That is all we need, that the law is enforced. Because if you increase the law to 50, it will cause more accidents because people can go faster. It is now 40, but they're still going fast. If you increase the speed, you'll have more accidents. So let it stay the way it is. People have to be cautious. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for the call. Just a slight correction that you said 20 in built-up areas, but 14 built-up areas, 20 in villages and the
40
within
non-built-up
Bastia.
areas.
Yeah,
Non-built-up areas.
Yeah.
Yes. So the caller was
Yeah, he
correct.
was
Built-up
correct. He
areas.
was
Yeah,
Yes.
that is what
Okay.
he said.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I was hearing built-up areas and,
No, he
and
said
not
20. He said
yes.
everybody knows 20 in built-up and
In
40
built-up areas. Exactly. And the thing about it is a simple rule, and the caller just recited it. In villages and in town, 20 miles. Outside of that, 40 miles. Because the whole idea is to really to prevent any eventuality of children or anybody walking in the road in where there are no safeguards or not pedestrian sidewalks and so on. So that is the reason for that. Let me just quickly recite what has been happening, and we have a long way to go in terms of the behavioral change, Hortensia. An example, a camera was placed just as you're leaving the area in Sandy Point where the former Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Sean Richards, was living, going up to the Anglican Church, leaving Sandy Point. And the lowest speed in that area was 45 miles per hour. The fastest speed that was captured is 51 miles per hour in a village. In the space of 2 minutes, 6 vehicles were captured in the space of 2 minutes, driving between 45 miles per hour and 51 miles per hour. So we have a long way to go in relation to the behavioral change strategy. It borne out in relation to where the 20-mile zones are. We are seeing the average speed of 44.8 miles per hour, right? The lowest being 40 miles in a 20-mile zone. The lowest speed is 40 miles per hour. The highest speed is 65 miles per hour in a 20 miles per hour zone. Cartensia, we have a very long way to go. So we are not moved by all these reasons and thing, and we are guided by the data, and we are saying, despite the calls for increased speed and how low 20 miles is, people naturally are driving fast. Yeah. And if we do not ensure what we'll say colloquially, hold the bull by the horn, then we will get worse and worse tragic accidents and more fatality. In 40 miles per hour zone, you have the average speed 61.2 miles per hour, the lowest speed being 55 miles per hour, and the highest speed is 83 miles per hour in a 40-mile zone. This is what the photo radar has been telling us between the 2 weeks that we have implemented the photo radar. It is very serious, Cartensia, and we will not rest. A matter of fact, we are eager to really take some of these people before the court. And me being the operations supervisor of traffic and the person who more or less charged with the responsibility to drive this project, I'm going to ensure in very short order you will get the information as to how many tickets have been paid, if people pay their tickets, and how many persons have been taken before the court. I want to continue to encourage our motorists that we really have a duty, a responsibility to drive safely on the road. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, officer. You've been very enlightening in the information that you brought to
Although
us.
you won't give me the speed limit.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
The
right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoots Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days, Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th, and get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment. Drive away with finance with Horsefoots and get free bill of sale, free servicing for 12 months, free registration, free tinting, and even free groceries or gas for 3 months. Because the right time is here for the right vehicle with the right deal right now. Visit Horsefoots Automotive right now. Drive smart. Drive Horsefoots. Terms and conditions apply.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season, so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Just about 14 minutes after the hour of 9, we're back here on Island T. And I saw an article. There was a brawl at a football match that they had last night between the SL Horsford St. Paul's United FC and Rams Village Superstar FC, which led to the premature end of the fixture at halftime on Sunday night. And this article is by Erasmus Williams. It says, in a statement, the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association said it strongly condemns all forms of violence and misconduct in football. The altercation that unfolded is wholly unacceptable and stands in direct contradiction to the values of respect, discipline, and fair play that the association promotes and uphold at every level of the game. It said an immediate investigation into the incident has been launched. All players, officials, and participants involved in the brawl will be subject to the appropriate disciplinary process in accordance with the SKNFA and FIFA regulations. And the SKNFA also wishes to sincerely apologize to the fans and supporters who attended the match and had their football experience cut short.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Yes, it's me again. Now, I would like to say something. In the Bible, when King Saul killed the Gibeonites, some of them, and he killed some of them, he did something that was very wrong. And then later on, during King David's time, a man who was dealing uprightly with the Gibeonites, them and that sort of stuff, God still held Israel accountable for that. So much to the point that during King David's time, God brought a famine in Israel and started, I think, kill off certain Israelites. All because of what King Saul, who was prior to David, did. Even though David was dealing rightly with the Gibeonites. And David had to go and make confession and repented before God, offering a sacrifice to appease the wrath of God. Not because of what King David did to the Gibeonites, but because of what King Saul, who was before him, did to the Gibeonites. I said that to to say this. There's a thing called collective responsibility and accountability as well. And like I said earlier, those speeches that were given by those men, that was terrible and vitriolic and so on, at Massey's house, they were doing it as representative and on behalf of the party. Okay? So, as this was done on representative and on behalf of the party itself has a they personally have a responsibility. Don't get me wrong, but the party also as well have a responsibility to face up to it and disassociate itself from that thing.
And I did say that, Greg. I did say that.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, I did say that. But yeah,
I understand.
But let's even use David as an example. Even though David made atonement for something that was done by a prior individual.
Not to cut you off, Kate, but David made the atonement not just on him, but on all of Israel part.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's you was getting to that.
But here's my point. Even after he made that atonement, you know the dastardly things that he went on and did.
Of course.
So then he carried, because I do believe that to some extent the sins of the fathers go down to the next generation. So I said,
the Bible tells you that.
So I say that to say this: when we're dealing with humans and human element, I mean, it is one thing for you to say, and I like I said, I don't disagree with you, but here's where you come and the new young labor individuals say, well, we atone for what was done before, but then they go on and do things, and it just keeps carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. You understand? There's no end to it because we're dealing with the human element.
Yeah, and those dastardly, evil, wicked things that David did, Israel suffered and was punished, right?
That is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
It's
one
an
of
ongoing
thing. And one of God's punishment and Israel for David's sins was the division of the nation into two kingdoms.
Yeah.
But yes, but but very interestingly though, God did not recommend reparations for the Gibeonites. What he recommended was atonement.
Okay.
And your Quint, and not only that, when David did it, there were people of the Gibeonites who were living at that time. But yet God did not recommend recommendation. He recommended atonement.
Yeah.
Anyhow, thank you. Take care.
Same to you. Yeah. So I'm going to play a clip here, and it's to do with this. Well, I'm just going to play the clip and let you listen to it.
If ever we needed a reminder of how unstable and how dangerous this world that we live in is, and how vulnerable our Caribbean region is, it is now with us, facing a multiplicity of threats. We don't need to look any further than the menacing vessels, military vessels from the United States across the Caribbean Sea, including what is reputed to be the world's largest warship. These are not times of pirates anymore. This is 2025, and we have cause to be duly concerned. We are facing, my friends, an extremely dangerous and untenable situation in Southern Caribbean. And as a people with a tragic history of being subjected to centuries of big power, orchestrated genocide, terrorism, and warfare, and as a small state, we have invested tremendous time and energy and effort in establishing and maintaining our region as a zone of peace. Peace is critical to all that we do in this region. And now that peace is being threatened, we have to speak up. I believe that the time has come for us, therefore, to be able to ensure that we do not accept that any entity has the right to engage in extrajudicial killings of persons that they suspect of being involved in criminal activities. As I said, we stand for the rule of law. And we believe that if there is other intelligence available that would cause you to take action that is an immediate threat to you as a nation, then you have a duty to share it with us. But on the face of it, conflating law enforcement with military action is a dangerous step, as Kerry Simmons advocated a few weeks ago. We equally do not accept that any nation in our region or the greater Caribbean should be the subject of an imposition upon them of any unilateral expression of force and violence by any third party or nation.
And one of the reasons I played that clip is because, look, sometimes I disagree with things that Mayor Motley may say, and sometimes I question her sincerity and how, but I must admit that for a woman as a leader in the Caribbean right now, she seems to have more balls than the men. There's no disputing it, because she's bold enough to say what a lot of us is thinking, and a lot of those men, where are they? And her sentiments there is that the Caribbean needs to pool together and make a decisive decision and let it be known that we are a sovereign area, and that we do not care how big and powerful you are. If you are living in a human society and you are humane, we do not want you to come to conclusions where, because you have the power, you can just come into our area and mess up our lives. We are a zone of peace. We have been a zone of peace. And the audacity of you who say that you are a world leader to show this kind of disregard for us as human beings, it is, look, the United States and Europe and those from the past who were superpowers, they better learn, because by the things that you're doing and you're taking it simple and you're thinking that you have the power and the might, you are sensitizing to the world to your disregard for human pride and dignity and the human element of autonomy. I just had to say that.
You have a caller?
Yes. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, morning, 1 minute. Yes, sorry about that. Morning, Quinn.
Yeah, good day.
No, I agree with what you say and what you are saying, because the same thing I said to myself this morning when I'm watching the news. We in the Caribbean, we are a peaceful nation. We're not accustomed to no war. We don't harm anyone. So why is it that this man is allowed to come in our waters and do as he likes? And when you look at it, it's two wars he wants to start right now, one in the Caribbean, and he and France is going after Africa. So it's two wars right now he wants to start.
Yeah.
For what?
It is about getting the mineral and wealth of the world without having to pay for it.
Exactly, for other people's stuff.
Yes.
Because what? Why? You must always be superior to everybody else. I think that black people have a long time suffered under these white people just come in. They want to rule us and take us whatever God provides for our land, they want for themselves. Oh, I mean, you want to go in using all Christians are being persecuted. Like, that's so holy and that's so clear about Christians. Using that as an excuse to go into Africa to start a war down there. Using Maduro as an excuse to want to come in the Caribbean to start a war. Maduro, he ain't troubling us.
No.
He's evil too. You got two lesser, two evil. What do we do?
But I saw varying reports over the weekend. I kept sending them to me. I'm looking down here to see what I find. But what they are saying, must say Trinidad, the Prime Minister's And I think a next minister of a government, I don't remember the exact name because I'm trying to find the information. They were saying that the boats are just there to help build schools and do other projects. And she, wait, y'all don't get me. And she's saying she doesn't know anything about an impending war, etc., etc. But that's the same thing because I've heard the same minister touted that the boats, not the prime minister, but the other minister touted that the boats were there to help build schools and not to cause any problems.
Look, if we want to be,
and you believe that?
If we want to be so,
look, as Mr. McMahon would say,
as a people, we had better beware. Sometimes when a number of you hear me come here and I play certain clips, I know a lot of you are tempted to say, why is he delving in the past? The past is gone. But look at what is happening now, and you will see why I keep using the past as reminders. Because what we're seeing now is a revisiting of what was done in the past. They still feel that they can just come and make a decision, use their propaganda machine, push something out there, and then impose themselves on you.
Yeah, but I have something from the opposition. Hold on.
Even Stenquoy right now, Stenquoy is complaining too because they got a big ship, warship there also. So it's like they put this man plan to. I realize he keeps trying the word nuclear around. He just loved that word. He's been throwing nuclear around.
But those ships.
I'll continue to listen.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me play this clip right here that I have. Hold on.
Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, our Prime Minister has to come out clearly and say that there is no agreement, that they have no discussion, and that what Senator Rubio is saying is not true. I mean, she has to say that, because other than that, we are wondering exactly, do they or do they not have an agreement? If they are saying that they have an agreement with Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, our Prime Minister has to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read what she's talking about, all right? So opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to come out and say what, if any, agreement has been reached between Trinidad and the United States as it relates to the U.S. ongoing operations in the Southern Caribbean. So she wants to know what is the agreement, why are they there, etc., etc. I've seen other Trinidadians go as far as to go in front of the U.S. Embassy in Trinidad and speak out against what is happening. Just a few, I guess. A lot of persons didn't show up. I don't know why, but...
Yeah, we have a caller. Hello,
caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning to you guys.
Hey, bro.
Well, we go back to the Essequibo thing in Guyana, dispute between Guyana and Venezuela. They had a meeting down in Grenada, right? Where I think Maduro attended that meeting, and there was some handshakes and a deal, an agreement made there, wasn't that?
We want, if you have information, just bring it, because we're not afraid with everything. When you ask, I sometimes can't interject because I don't know everything. So if you have information, bring it forward.
Yeah, there was a meeting. Yeah,
you're speaking of the meeting in St. Vincent when they would.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was at the height of that dispute recently.
Yeah.
And then we go forward, right? But how much diplomacy was there after that? And Mia Motley, being the strong voice that she is, and people have been supporting her. The clip that you just played, Quint. I mean, she's just really echoing. I mean, why couldn't she direct some of these directly to the leader of Trinidad and Tobago? I mean,
Burl. This is where sometimes I'm going to be blunt. This is where sometimes I can't forgive the ingratitude of people. Here is a woman. We as men tend to say, oh, women are weak and women should be submissive. And most of the leaders in the Caribbean are men. Here's a woman who's bold enough to say what needs to be said. And you're going to come here and say, why didn't she tell it to this and why didn't she tell it to that?
And I'm going to back up that stance. What I'm saying is the CARICOM leaders see where the Trinidad leader was going, and did they have any diplomacy? That's what I'm saying.
But that isn't what you said. But that isn't
No,
what you said.
okay, well, Quint, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to defend myself this morning. What I'm saying is, it's all good and mighty that you're going to echo that in the ear. But did she go down to Trinidad, which is next door, and have a direct talk?
But
with
why
the
should she
Trinidad
have
and
to do
Tobago?
that, Burl? What I'm saying is, why should she
That
have
was
to do that?
necessary. That's part of diplomacy.
It
That
is
was
not
necessary. That was
It is not.
diplomacy.
It is not necessarily for her as an
Yes, it
individual
was.
to do it. It is
It
not.
was because Trinidad now has gone against the voice of CARICOM.
Burl, you're missing the point. You know.
That's what my position is.
Hortensia, you think you
That's
can
what my
understand? You think you can understand what I'm saying? I am saying that let's
but
let's
you
let's
gotta
use
understand
a.
what I'm saying too. You gotta understand what I'm saying too. The
I don't-
diplomacy
I-
has to be at work.
This is where.
The
This is
diplomacy
where.
has to be at work.
This is where we throw out the baby with the bathwater. This is what it means. This is where you have, let's use a hypothetical. You have 100 soldiers, right? And they're supposed to defend something. Out of those 100 soldiers, only 2 go and defend something. And then you have the audacity to look at those 2 soldiers and say, okay, so you defended that, so why didn't you go and do that? And why didn't you understand what I'm saying? I am saying if you have 100 soldiers and they have a job to do and they move in unison, that is the impact that you want. So, Burl, I'm saying to you, even though
And that's what I'm saying.
that
That's
is
what I'm
not
saying.
what that is not what you're saying. What you
That's
should have
That's what I'm saying.
what you should have said, Burl, is having made that statement, why couldn't the others get together and either regurgitate that statement?
Diplomacy.
But
It was not there was not enough diplomacy with the leader of Trinidad and Tobago and CARICOM as a whole, including Mayor Motley as well.
No, I completely disagree with you.
Yeah, you can disagree anytime you want. I don't have a problem with that.
Yes.
So why you don't think there was diplomacy, Quint?
Is he the one who's saying there was no diplomacy? So ask him that question.
Yeah, we ain't seen it. We didn't see it.
Okay,
We
so
just
Burl, you want
We saw America
wait.
march straight into the Caribbean, and the Trinidad leader gave them the go-ahead. That's what we seeing.
But as I was telling Quint earlier, the Trinidad leader is touting that she doesn't know anything about any impending war, etc., that the U.S. is there to help build schools and other infrastructure.
Okay then.
So,
and then now
Burl,
we are hearing that.
so Burl,
And then now we are possibly hearing that Trump has maybe already given the sign out to drop a bomb.
Where?
I've seen a clip somewhere that says that already.
Look,
We have to be
can
careful,
see,
you know,
yes,
because a
we
lot
can
of
see,
AI things out there.
I've seen a clip that said that already.
Look, I've seen
That's what
100
that's what
clips.
I said.
I've seen 1,000 clips. I've seen clips that said he has already given the get-go and it's going to happen in hours. Some say it's going to happen in minutes. Look, but here, Burl, here's where now I'm going to bring it right home. I'm going to bring it right home where you're concerned. If you're saying that Mia Motley hasn't done enough because she's come out as a woman and made a statement and you feel that she should do more, then it goes to what I've been saying about you. Because you say you want to be a leader and you feel good to stay wherever you are and tell people to go out and march, and you say you're not going to give up your passport or your citizenship to come in and defend what you want. So how is it that you are so hypocritical? And I'm not pulling punches with you now because I want people to be consistent that when it comes to Mia Motley as a woman and as an individual trying her best to defend something, you cover her over and you say, oh, well, that isn't enough. But you feel good to stay where you are and say, Kitishan and Division, come out and march. This thing in Nevis is not, but you've said on numerous occasions you will not give up your passport for the United States of America. So
And
I'm
guess
saying,
what?
I'm
going to say this clearly. I'm not hypocritical, and I'm going to defend myself. I'm not hypocritical. Just like when the guy called you a communist,
Yes.
and you defended yourself.
Yes.
I'm going to defend myself.
I
here.
want you to
I am
defend
not
yourself.
Hypocritical. I am not going to give up my U.S. passport because guess what? Nobody in St. Kitts and Nevis know the struggles I went through to get that. And guess what? Since I've been talking about going to the street and protest, me and other people who have been talking like that, we are now seeing movement underground in St. Kitts and Nevis because the people underground there, They do not have the courage. So we are the ones that's energizing them just by words.
Oh.
And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. Mia Motley, thinking that she's the Iron Lady, should have directed some of them coming straight to that leader of Trinidad when she saw where she was going, and Carrie come should have backed her up, and that part I will agree with you. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
And you're making statements. She has never said she's an Iron Lady. Where did you get that from?
I think he's referring to her as one. I don't think he said she is. But I
But you
don't know
gotta be-
if he listened the press conference clearly, because I remember the premier saying, for those who are overseas and running their mouths and telling the vision people what to do, basically they need to.
But Burl is hypocritical. He says he's going to defend himself, and how does he defend himself? By saying he's not going to give it up. So that is hypocritical. And then he goes further to say, we are out here saying words, and our words are motivating people. Okay, I hear that. But what if when you use your words and you motivate people, the people get a backlash? Where are you?
But that's what happens. Look, I spoke the other day about the African leader who sent people out to protest, but was he in the protest?
That is what I'm saying.
So it's for people to pick sense out of nonsense and decide what they're going to do and what they're not going to do.
So, Burl, I love you. I mean, I'm going to be harsh when I have to make a statement, but I don't want you to throw out the baby with the water. When we have a leader who is trying, remember that people aren't perfect, and I must commend her because, like I said, she's a woman, and where are the men?
But
where
then,
are
as
the
we,
men?
As we rightfully said, because even in Grenada, I noticed over the weekend that the Prime Minister, as I said, I took back that statement. I saw an article that says he said yes too, but then when I delved deeper, he didn't. He has not answered as yet.
That's it.
And the opposition and even some of his supporters, they went to Parliament, they were turned back, a government building, they were turned back, etc., etc. But they're not saying anything. And the mere fact that she's the only person that's going to speak up and the other members aren't going to say, that's why sometimes I wonder, is Carrie come real?
That is the question.
Are we together?
You know? And then he's going to dare to say she should have done. I'm not that I disagree, but I'm saying she's trying, man. She's trying. And where are the others? Don't you think if the others had come out and made that statement to back her up with, hello, caller.
Good morning, Brother Quinn. Good morning, Patricia.
Yes.
Good morning.
I just listened to the little brush right now between Burl and you and anyone who have their perspective. Now listen, let me jump on Mia Motley.
Mia Motley. Yeah.
Mia Motley is one person, and I believe she's tried, and she's continued to try. I'm not going to condemn her on her effort, but I believe there should have been, I don't know if there was diplomacy, but diplomacy amongst the other Caribbean CARICOM leaders, okay? And there somebody go and represent that one voice to Trinidad and the U.S. Only Mia Motley voice we are hearing. And yes, she got more balls than the men who said they are leaders. So I give her credit for her effort. But moving forward, where does this started? What was the actual claim or charge or reason for America to be in the Caribbean with legitimacy and transparency? We are not hearing anything. We are only seeing action. Does the U.S. feel they don't have to say anything? I mean, let me just reiterate it. Donald Trump and his administration, that's Donald Trump and his administration. The Americans don't have any beef, any grievance with the Caribbean. But sometimes leadership matters. So when we say in America, let's call out these individuals by name who are leading the charge. For instance, my most concern is about St. Kitts and Nevis and the SS Resort. Based on the situation that is going on in Nevis, and started in St. Kitts, now Nevis turn. I personally, as a person who's trying to be a leader, have plans for the SS Resort. It's now on the radar. It's now on the top of the chart. I have plans for the SS Resort. Over there are untouched. and establish. We all know what needed over there for establishment, habitation to be. We can take a clue from what needs to be done, what was said and what was shown on AI, artificial intelligence, and we could use that and move forward. We can develop our own country. Where the money is coming from, apart from these investors, there are many investors out there we could partnership with too, without selling our land. Our land must stay with us, and anything comes in, it's under our control and no one else. And I'm adamant about that. So therefore, the SSG zone is there for a reason, as it has been called. Our lands are there for future development, because right down there could be a city, a new city for Nevis. Okay? It's not touched and proper zoning regulation, because look back in the past. Look at Charlestown. There are no zoning regulation. There are no zones. They just build. A piece of land in the bill. Look at it. Like Shantytown. And no disrespect to the division. But that area...
Are you sure that they don't have any zoning regulations over there in Nevis, Mr. Welcome?
Beg your pardon?
Are you sure they don't have zoning regulations over there in Nevis?
What I'm talking about when it comes to structures and development.
Look, Mr. Welcome, with all due respect, this is why I was a bit harsh. This is why I was a bit harsh with Burl before, and this is why I consistently am a bit harsh with you, even though I love you as an individual, but I'm wary of individual who tout this leadership thing and seems to be unaware of what leadership really means. I mean, the word diplomacy should be nowhere in that conversation when we're speaking in terms of Mia Motley, and that she should use some diplomacy in dealing with the Trinidadian minister. That word does not belong in there, right?
But Nevis has zoning regulations, okay, and it's part of the physical planning and development control.
And in terms of you speaking about what you see on AI, again, it shows that you do not have a clue about leadership, because you're looking. Because you're looking at a picture that is AI generated, that if you look at that picture, you will see that will take millions and billions of dollars to develop that area. And you're saying as a potential leader that you see where it can be used for development, and you're now using that word zone and that kind of stuff. Wait. I'm going to let you make your statement, but let me finish. Here's the thing. For that area, this is why I played a clip where Mark Brantley was saying it is impossible to build roads in that area. Mark Brantley, as a leader, should not be saying that, because that is what it needs. It needs development starting with infrastructure, which is road.
But because it's private lands, a government is not liable to put roads in there. That's the owners.
Government is liable. Listen, wait, caller, wait. I'm going to let you express yourself. Government is supposed to be able to negotiate with the owners and say, look, let's work. We're gonna put the infrastructure in place so that you can do development. You understand? We're gonna make sure that you have roads, you have water, you have electricity. If the precedent has been set, that is what was done over at the Southeast Peninsula when they said, the opposition and a lot of people said, he's building a road to nowhere, but he was building a road with a potential vision for the future. So you, Mr. Welcome, should be thinking in terms of a gradual development. You can't look at the AI-generated thing and take up that and want to tell us nonsense.
I condemn the AI-generated, what they're trying to show to us. I am not condoning with that.
But that is the impression I got. Because you said
you stick a pin because you digging me with a dagger.
Because you said you can use something from the AI generated thing, and the zone is there to be developed.
No, I am not interested in the AI generated forecast what they're trying to say.
But the zone wasn't the zone, it was just a place.
Right? Yeah. I'm simply saying I condemn that. We can do it for ourselves in developing over there due to the fact that there are no roads, okay? There are no, it's a neutral ground for a good zone, not
It's
the
private
SSD zone.
lands, Mr. Welcome.
It's private land.
Lands.
But, yes,
And as I
well,
said,
just-
and Quinn said, government can help the folks to put in the roads, but governments are not liable to put in roads on private land. That is the objective of the persons that own the land.
But what I'm trying to say, government has to negotiate with the private owners.
That's what Quinn said.
Bring everyone together. Everyone will benefit because that will be investment. Okay? And totally, I am against foreigners coming and take our land. They must stay in our position all the time, forever, until we're dead.
They can't take it if we don't give it to them.
But it's negotiation. I'm not saying government just go and take their land. They have to negotiate. Okay? But anything to do with foreign investors, but that chunk of land, this is not like a person who become.
But government's not taking the land. Remember, the land will only go to government once the supposed development falters, because as of now, these lands belong to regular people, private folks.
Yes, I agree to that. I know that. Okay? I'm taking the model from the Southeast Peninsula. I was the first petition who worked on that. And I know what went on from the beginning. First, they had to cut the roads. I was the first one who worked with the engineer from Puerto Rico to do the cross-section, go all the way up Timothy Hill at some point until I was released. Okay? So I know what details to go. Yes, it is important, and it is the government's duty to put the roads in and all the infrastructure, and then development move forward. But we can't have these people come in. It will be theirs. And for the way it started out, it's gone wrong because there was no transparency. But knowing, this is the point where you take out of context, knowing what AI generated by these people is showing, okay? They give us idea because it's ours. That government is the private owner, so whatever plan they have for there, we as citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we can copy from that and let it be in our position.
Exactly, I was just telling you, and we could be in trouble for that, because the fact that we're going to copy what somebody already probably has patent to can put us in hot water.
But they give us an idea, so
but we're
they
copying
have to be an idea from an idea.
But Mr. Welcome,
get us in trouble.
but Mr. Welcome, the point you're missing is this. I am saying that when we look at an AI generated thing and we use that as a premise to say we can push forward, there's where I have a problem, because you're looking at an AI generated thing which takes a lot of more work and money, and we're not going to be able to implement something like that when. So I am saying go back to how things should be done, where you as the government deal with the landowners and say, look, let's negotiate where we're going to put roads and where we're going to put water, where we're going to put electricity. And I know that once we do that, development is going to come, the government is going to make revenue. That is what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. You speak in my language, but what probably you don't interpret the way I'm trying to bring it forth. Okay? But don't make me feel like I am the villain or the bad messenger. All I'm simply saying, look, there was no attention on the south side. No attention until this came up. And however it came up, it was done in secrecy. Okay? These people had time to do whatever they're going to do to bring it forth to us. Now that they have done it, we have our eyes are open to see the potential of over there. Okay? So they use AI. We have dynamic thinkers, architects in the Federation. So I'm just saying, now that is attention, it opened up my eyes, it opened up everybody's eyes to say the potential, and we can do it for ourselves. Because sometimes when you clean the ground, the monkeys come and run on. So if they came in and clean our ground, well, we the monkey gonna take advantage of it.
Okay, Carla.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, okay. But you see, I disagree with him. I am saying to look at that AI generated thing and think that we can use it as an example is a farce.
And that's copyright, and we can be
Well, I'm not
sued.
even going to the copyright. I'm going for the fact that it is like putting, as some people would say, putting the cart in front of the horse.
That's where we're going to get the money to.
That's what I'm saying. Look, that kind of development takes billions of dollars. So from the time we use that as our starting point, we've gone wrong.
Yeah.
I am saying let's do it the way we have done it before and should do it before. Let's say after roads and water and electricity is there, the potential is humongous. It can go anywhere, but that is where you must start. That is what I'm saying.
Because as you rightfully said, there were infrastructure, there were roads, because now we have Park Hyatt. We go over there to various recreational places to eat.
We go
hang out,
to Nevis.
To Nevis, yeah, we have all of that. But that's
and the potential is only begun.
Yeah, and I wonder too, what if Mr. Simmons then and some of the landowners over there had an agreement as well? So
they had to have had an agreement
exactly.
for it to be
as
done.
As you said, the landowners and the government can have an agreement, because technically I know people say, oh, they're not putting roads, they're not doing this, but they're not liable to, as per what I've read. They're not liable to do it, but it can be done through negotiation.
Yes, and what I'm saying is any forward-thinking government regime, that is the way you should be thinking. You should have been looking at that place and thinking, how do I see that developing in the next 20 years, you know? So if I see development in the next 20 years, where do we start? And that's the point. Where do we start? You understand? Where do we start? And you start with infrastructure. That is it. And I want people to understand, it's not that I'm here trying to prove a point or trying to be harsh. I am a realistic person. When I sit here and you speak, I listen. And when I listen to you, I want you to make sense. I don't want you to just come and get caught up in your passion and say things just because you can say it. I want you to be able to say things because you feel something about it. You're sincere about it. You see potential in it. Not just get inflamed and say, like when Burl said that, you know, Mayor Motley, yes, she did that, but why didn't she go down to... It's like Mr. McMahon, he's listening, I'm sure, and Mr. McMahon asks Mr. Chesley Hamilton a question as to why didn't he tell the Trinidad government certain things or try to influence her. Now, Mr. McMahon is a sensible man. I'm sure that he did that with an element of like mischievousness. You understand? He knew what he was doing, because when I said to him, that is a bit unfair, he laughed. He understood. You understand what I'm saying? So I can understand that kind of a thing, but not when you're coming seriously and you see somebody standing out there in the wilderness, and you're going to still hit them. You're going to still hit her with a club?
It doesn't seem like everybody's on the same page, because she is the loudest woman, and majority of the gentlemen that we have leading the region, not say much.
Yeah, and as a man, we got to be careful, because I as a man have got to be careful that I don't see a woman trying her best and come and say, well, she should have done better, when there are so much more men than her who aren't doing anything. You understand what I'm saying? I must be realistic as far as that is concerned. Hello, caller?
Grand Rising.
Yes.
Let me say this. It's not a wrong right. Two people may see things differently, and it's for a good reason. If we all see it the same way, it's the blind leading the blind, because everybody going one way. The thing is, in every position held by an individual is something good, and is why the Rastaman say reasonment. What you say and what I have to say, in both of them, is something good. What we take to build is the best of what each individual have to offer. No one is wholesome. Now, let me move forward. It's a lot of Bible story thing going on. In the Bible, it says, read it again. When God created the man and the woman and put them in the garden, he told them, if you eat the fruit, you shall surely die. Well, the serpent come and say, he lie. If you eat the fruit, you shall not, but become as gods having knowledge. Well, here, where the God and the devil agreed. When the God went, he never tell them. The devil lied to them. The God said to them, you have eaten from the fruit that I have forbidden you. You have now become as gods, having knowledge. It ain't argument. Ain't no wrong right. When we hold a position, we must hold a position to build. If you right and I wrong, we ain't going nowhere.
But caller, let me interject. I listen to you patiently, and I understand what you're saying if you're speaking in a very, very broad context. But in terms of what was happening with me and Burl, it isn't so much a wrong right. It is where he made a verbal representation that I disagreed with, because I feel that he was not being fair to someone who is trying. That is what it is.
Yeah, but that's how you feel. But objectively, he has a position.
Yes, he has a position.
That's how you feel. You disagreed because you do not share his chain of thoughts, his mind, his brain. You cannot see through his eyes. He can only see through his.
But caller, the point that you're making, you're missing the point. Because where I'm trying to follow you, because what you're saying is rational, it is not applicable in this context. For instance, if someone comes out, and as Mayor Motley did, and she makes a representation, I am saying that having made that representation, this is where we kill the people who are bold enough to stand up and represent us. That is what I'm saying. Here she is. She makes a statement. She's one of, I'm not sure of the numbers, but let's say she's one of 15 leaders in the Caribbean. And she comes and she makes a statement. And instead of you appreciating the statement that she makes and says, here's what I agree with you to some extent, but this is where I say it does not apply here. Because what he could have said is, having made that statement, I believe, which he said in the end, he said, I believe the others should have come, backed her up on it, and they all move forward together. That is what I'm saying.
I got you, you know. But what he is saying, she said what she said. But as a leader then, when he used the term Iron Lady in CARICOM, he is saying more could have been done. There's nothing wrong with that. Now let me move forward onto something. In the Sudan, we're hearing a lot about Ukraine and Palestine. One of the biggest genocide in the world is happening right now, UAE sponsored. In the Sudan, where thousands of people are dying, children are hungry. There's no voice.
But caller, I'm glad
we
need a voice
for the Sudan.
Caller, I'm glad you made that point, because I'm glad you made that point, because as we wrap up, here's my point. The point is this. We're now hearing that the U.S. and certain other factions are thinking about venturing into Africa to save Christians. But see where your point is valid? You want to save Christians, but black people are dying over there and there's no voice. I have to rest my case there because we are 2 minutes over time and the other person is already in studio. Okay, so this is how we're going to end things, Hortensia. Your final words?
Just have a great Monday. There's lots happening in the world.
Yeah.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottle your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.